Hello, my sweet little sour licorice strip. How you doing today? Oh, what? This? SourBoys. It is so good. I think this is my new favorite flavor. Cherry limeade. SourBoys. Delicious sour strip. I'm gonna eat this now. But you should go to sour.gg, get some of these, because you could get some of these and listen to these creepy, weird, update Reddit stories that I'm about to read. Okay, so buckle up. Grab your snacks, ideally SourBoys. If not, maybe next time, let's read some Reddit. I need to take my shoes off and sit crisscross applesauce for this shit. So I went on a subreddit called Best of Redditor Updates. I love updates. And I found some really creepy titles, some weird creepy titles. And I'm excited to dive into them, so let's do it. My 30 female student, 18 male, made a super creepy comment. And my husband, 35 male, thinks I'm being paranoid. Oh, this just is spilling, steaming hot tea. Damn. All right, let's get into it. I'll tell you whether you should be paranoid or not, because I'm an expert. I'm a high school English teacher and have been for a few years. In that time, as a woman, I've been used to teenage boys behaving awkwardly around me sometimes, and pheromones are part of the deal. I don't like that. There have been occasional comments, but generally in the vein of, Miss so-and-so has a crush on you, or Miss, would you be so-and-so's Valentine? It's all good humor, in front of the whole class or large group, and is well-meaning. Fair enough, you know? My school throws a January ball for seniors, 16 to 18, which is basically an opportunity to celebrate the start of another calendar year. As it's after hours, not every teacher has to attend, and this year I was asked to chaperone. There is no alcohol permitted, but obviously some of them sneak in hip flasks and so on, as you do. It's my very calm alarm that scares me every day. Anyway, during this month's ball, 2 students were huddled at a table in the corner of the hall, not dancing, just keeping to themselves. I know them well as problematic students who have difficulties socially, but also perform poorly academically, so they don't fit in with the popular crowd or the nerdy lot. We have some of these every year. Poor hygiene, greasy hair, long fingernails, that sort of thing. God damn, this teacher's laying it on thick. Immediately, I could tell they had been drinking from the way they spoke and smelled, and asked them to hand over the alcohol they had. And one of the boys, call him Stuart, started protesting. He said the following, and I'm 100% sure this is what he actually said. Come on, miss, don't pretend you won't open the bottle of Bailey's when you get home, feet up in your dressing gown, watching the new TV. Give us a break. New TV? Weird. Okay. Now, as soon as he said this, I felt my heart drop into my stomach and got cold all over. Okay. Oh, I'm scared for her. Oh my God. I had just bought a bottle of Bailey's Irish cream for myself the weekend before the dance. Oh, okay. I thought that's what they had. What? I am in the habit on nights where I don't have much marking, planning, and want to treat myself of having a bath and watching a movie/series in my dressing gown. Oh my God. My husband bought a new television over Christmas. What? Oh no. I asked him how he knew those things and he feigned ignorance, basically saying it was a lucky guess. What? I was so shaken that I left them, and a short while later, they both left. But that night I could barely sleep, and my paranoia kept growing. I simply cannot believe that he could have guessed all 3 of those things. 1, maybe, but no way all 3. My husband is away for work currently. Oh God. I phoned him and told him about it, and he basically downplayed my concerns, saying I probably mentioned those things to my class at various points, and the student had just remembered it, but I would never mention those things. I just wouldn't, and I'm sure I haven't. That's so... Why is your husband doing that? I don't like that. I don't like when partners like just don't validate their especially when they're scared. I don't like that. Anyway, I've become more skittish at home when I hear noises. I only live in a small house, but when I arrive home from buying groceries, I check every single room and cupboard before I lock the doors. I've also arranged to have the locks changed. When cars stop outside the house, I turn all the lights off and peek through the blinds. I'm having trouble sleeping. Oh no. In class, this student is quiet and the same as ever, not completing homework assignments, distracted in class. My husband is growing increasingly exasperated and worried for my mental health and the possibility the student could somehow know the details of my personal life. I mentioned it to my supervisor as well, and she also basically reasoned that I had either misheard what he said, it was a coincidence, or a combination of the two. This poor Poor woman. I believe you. What's the play here? I'm seriously freaked out and I don't know how to even begin putting this to rest. Update. Here we go. I wasn't expecting this post to receive so much attention. I'm really grateful to so many people now that have validated my concerns and helped me develop a plan of action. I got home a little while ago and am going out shortly with a friend to try to rule out Bluetooth and Wi-Fi devices with my neighbors. Okay. After that, the two of us will try and conduct a meticulous search of the house for any concealed devices using the lights out phone camera trick some people recommended and some other tips I found online. Oh my God, that's so scary, but fair enough. Just to clarify a couple of points that I've seen raised a few times. Dressing gown is a really common term here in England. I knew they were English. I don't know why I didn't use an English voice for the teacher. For what Americans might call a robe. Okay, it's absolutely common parlance. New word unlocked, okay? Here, most people I know would associate a robe with something a wizard might wear. Fair enough, sounds awesome. In terms of being a lucky guess, if he had just said relax with a glass of wine, I might have assumed so, but the dressing gown comment plus the Bailey's comment when I just bought a bottle and the explicit mention of a new television, which I'm 100% certain I did not misinterpret, these things make it so much harder to write off as a coincidence. Fair enough. My spine, it would tingle if that happened, man. That's just in the worst way, not in a good way. The hairs on the back of my neck would stand up. That's probably a better way to saying that. As far as social media goes, I have an Instagram which is set to private under my maiden name, and my profile picture is not of me. I am not in the habit of connecting with former students. I only have 3 who have all gone on to study English at university and have used me as references. I also have Snapchat, which I use only with my husband and very close friends. I posted nothing with my new television, and I also don't think I've mentioned this to colleagues, let alone to students. Certainly said nothing about Bailey's I just bought. Interesting. Oh my God. I wonder if she found anything. I don't think there's another update, but I would be concerned. I mean, is it wrong to confront the kid and be like, hey, how do you know all that? And then to be like, I don't know how I'd handle this situation. I would have confronted. I'd be like, why do you say what you said? Like, I don't know. I feel like I would need to get to the bottom of it. But I feel so bad for her that the people around her aren't validating her and just making her feel more crazy. I've been in a similar situation with like stalker situations, like when I was younger, not even when like since I've had like a platform. So I know how she feels and how to be like, everybody's like, yeah, okay, sure. That's scary. That's scary. And it's the worst feeling to just not feel safe in your own home. I really hope that she gets it figured out. But I mean, I'd confront the kid, man. I'd get somebody else to confront the kid about it, like a superior, but I guess they're just blowing her off. Damn it. What did people say? Oh, wait, there is another update. Oh my God, everybody calm down. Everybody chill out. Holy shit. Okay. I wasn't going to post an update here, but the number of worried people who have reached out to me made me reconsider. After a thorough search of my house, I found 2 devices. They seem to be camera devices. I don't know if audio is included. One of them was in the smoke detector in my bedroom, while the other was concealed in the wall of my living room. Looking at an old picture of my bedroom, it looks like the smoke detector itself has changed very slightly. I think the new one is a device in itself, which the culprit somehow switched the old one without us noticing. The matter has now been referred to the police. See? Oh my God, that is so fucking scary. If it wasn't for so many of you taking me seriously and giving me practical advice, I wouldn't have had the courage to check, especially given my husband downplaying the concerns. He must feel like a fucking idiot now. As he should. Always take precautions, man. My God, people are fucking crazy. All right. He has been very apologetic and is coming back from his work trip early. I fucking hope so. I hope he has a vase of a dozen roses and a goddamn huge amount of chocolate and a fuzzy blanket, at least, you know? But I've asked to spend time apart and will be staying with my parents for a while. As you should. You know, you did not feel supported by your partner and that fucking sucks. I feel so bad for her. Holy shit. I'm glad I raised the issue with my head at my school, a couple of others, as there's a paper trail, another suggestion from the thread. Hell yeah, Reddit. Needless to say, I'm completely shaken to my core and I have the most revolting feeling of my privacy being invaded. I have no idea how many people have been involved in this. Phones have been taken from my students and we should have more answers soon. I won't be making any more posts or updates. Thank you again to everyone for affirming me and making me feel sane. Oh my God, what a nightmare. I'm so happy she found that stuff. Thank God. I feel like I just went on a roller coaster. My God. Comments say, this is nightmare fuel. Either strangers have had access to our house or someone knows and trusts is involved. So true. I was on the OG thread and it made me kind of sick how many people were like, yeah, those 3 highly specific details are totally reasonable guesses all at once. Yeah. Like that's, maybe it's just being a woman. I don't know. But it's just like, little red flags immediately. I don't even think, you just need to be a semi-smart person to know that that's just not normal to guess those 3 things. Oh my God. I mean, honestly, my thought would have been peeping Tom about cameras, but yeah, not a random guess. I was assuming peeping Tom as well, especially if it was like a small house with like 1 floor kind of situation. Oh, I'm so glad she got that figured out, but I feel so bad for her. Like, she's never going to feel like fully safe after that, you know? I mean, unless she gets a partner where she does feel like that, which I hope she does. Maybe it works out with the person she's with, but whew, crazy. Has anybody else had something like that happen to them? I'd love to read your comments down below, but for me, I worked at a tanning salon for a while, which is ironic, I know, since I look like Casper, but there was a few customers, if you will, that I got stalked by. One was like a fully grown man, and he would leave me like gifts on top of my car when I went to like the supermarket. And he would always question the other girls that worked in place of me, like why I wasn't at a specific shift when I was supposed to be, and just weird stuff. And I was like 17. It's just icky, you know? Yeah, crazy. All right, well, let's move on. All right, next up, not any better it seems, but my brother, who's 18, has been poisoning my girlfriend, who's 24, for the past 3 years. What? Okay. She has always been allergic to lactose very severely, to the point where if she had any traces in her food, she would basically shit herself on the spot ever since she was a kid. That sucks so bad. I'm so sorry. My brother and I have always been on good terms and always hanged out together until 3 years ago when I met my girlfriend. As it happens, you know. He started getting more distant and mean towards me, talking about how she's ruining our bro-ship and taking me away from our family and him. I told him he was crazy and I didn't think too much of it until recently. Oh no. Oh no. Jealous brother moment. Going back to 3 years ago when I introduced Katie to my parents, he was livid. I moved out around 6 months later because I was tired of his constant bitching about her coming over to sleep and hang out. This kid's like in love with his brother or something. It's freaking weird, man. Okay. Ever since then, we would have family dinners at my parents' every month on Sundays. My family is Italian, so we eat a lot of pasta, and sauce, which is relevant. My parents always make 2 separate meals ever since they met her. One with no milk, lactose-free milk for Katie, and one for the rest of us. That is so sweet. She never had issues unless there was an accidental cross-contamination, which happened every so often. And the problem was, every month at those dinners, she was getting sick to the point of rushing to the bathroom and having excruciating diarrhea for an hour with severe cramps. Oh, that sucks. Every single time. At one point, I started refusing to go, and my parents kept insisting, so I gave it another try. It was fine for a few months, and then it started again. Oh my God, and the brother's doing it. Oh my God. This goes on for 2.5 years. I got really mad last week and got up in the middle of dinner and said to my parents, something is up and someone is messing with Katie's food. My parents go quiet and ask me why I would say that, and my brother turns rather pale and stops smiling. I knew it was him. I confronted him and he started crying, saying that he felt like he was getting payback at her for stealing away his big brother and that it wasn't fair. You little bitch. He said he was adding milk to the batch made for her and he has no regrets. That's horrible. That's awful. Oh my God. I was absolutely livid. Katie was as well. She excused herself and asked me to drive her back to our place. It's been 3 months and she cut contact with my parents. Katie refuses to talk to them anymore because they should have had my brother in check and given him a worse punishment. He literally got a smock behind the head and that was it. Oh, a smock or a smack? What's a smock? Like a fancy smack? I don't know what that is. Or is it like, oh, like a smock? Got it. I'm stupid. Never mind. Moving on. Okay, so no repercussions, basically. And she can't believe I didn't stop talking to them as well. Oh, this is hard with family and stuff. My parents, on the other hand, are mad that we let this little incident break our relationships. My girlfriend says if I keep in contacting them and insisting she forgives my brother, she's going to leave me. I love this girl to death. We've got plans to buy a house eventually and have kids. On the other hand, I love my parents too, but I can't have both anymore. What should I do? This is really bad. This is all really bad. Your brother was quite literally causing harm to your girlfriend's body intentionally. That's horrible. Like, it's not funny. Like, she's in actual pain. Like, there is no excuse for it. He deserves more than a smock upside the head. I don't know what he deserves. I probably can't say. But like, that's food tampering. That's like, is that illegal? That's poisoning? I don't know. I don't know where that falls under. It's not okay though. And for her to be as upset as she is, I think that's fair. I mean, she's clearly endured a hellish amount of pain. It's hard for her to put that on you, to be like, you cannot see them anymore. I don't know. I just think there needs to be like a whole sit down situation and be like, he literally was poisoning me. Like, that's not okay. I don't know. I think she has the right to not want to have a relationship with the brother, I guess, and then the parents. Like, what else are they supposed to do? I don't know. I mean, all they can do, I guess, is talk to him. But them calling it a little incident is a bit, it's shitty. It's shitty because it's way more than a little incident. This is really tough. It was just like a very evil thing to do. Yeah, I don't think you can have much expectation that your significant other should have a relationship with your family. But for her to cut off your relationship, I don't know. It's hard. That's really hard. Is there another update? Let's see. Oh God, okay, there is an update. Everybody calm down. Let's read it. I've read over 200 comments from you guys and it just validated my mind that my family is f***ed up. Yeah, dude. They're very f***ed up. I contacted my mom and confronted her about why she would defend my idiotic brother, and she basically said he was young and stupid. I told her a few of your comments and that Katie could press charges. Yes. And she broke down crying. You're not allowed to do that. Like, it's tampering. Saying he won't do it again. Hell no, he won't, because I told her I decided to cut them off for good. Wow. Okay. Katie was actually relieved when I told her I was on her side and cut them off. See, this is the opposite of the other guy that like didn't believe his wife for like getting stalked. This guy's just like, no, my partner before my family, like I don't know. I mean, slay, I guess. Basically told me she was going to dump me for being an idiot who couldn't support his, wait, what? Katie was actually relieved when I told her I was on her side and cut them off. Basically told me she was going to dump me for being an idiot who couldn't stop his girlfriend of 3 years when she basically being tortured for fun. That sentence doesn't really make sense. I'm just glad she didn't and that we are getting through this together. Oh, okay. So yeah, right. He was just going over what she said before, that she would leave him if he didn't cut them off. Thank you guys for every comment, even the ones calling me out for being an idiot trying to make Katie forgive my brother for the horrible things he did. When you're faced with this kind of dilemma and you've been so close with your family for over 20 years, you get blindsided. Fair enough, honestly. So me and Katie cut them out starting today, and we plan to move to the USA next year. We always wanted to live there and finally be far away from them. Damn. That's hard though. Like, I mean, I just think of my family, like I'm so close with my family, and cutting them off would be so incredibly hard. But like, if my sister was to poison Caleb every time they met for over 3 years, like now I'm thinking about, of course I would cut them off. And like them not saying sorry and being like, you, like, no, like I'd be like, you're crazy and we're done. You know, maybe we revisit 5 to 10 years from then and maybe they grew up and figured it out. And if my parents like tried to justify it, yeah, you know, my partner's my family now. And if somebody tries to hurt my new family, go away. You know, I'm interested to hear what you guys say down in the comments. That's f***ed up though. It's illegal. My God. Comments. No, she's ruining the bro ship, he said as he plunged the dagger into his brother's back again and again. Yeah, for sure. Like, what? The crazy part is it took them 2.5 years to figure this out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm surprised she kept going back as much as they did. I mean, I guess they did take like months off and stuff, but I don't know. She probably has that issue if like any sort of cross-contamination happens. So she probably just thought it was like an innocent cross-contamination. She wouldn't assume that somebody was trying to actually poison her. Crazy. Just crazy. Horrible. I'm with you guys. Like, I read through it. I weighed both options. You have the absolute right to cut them off, for sure. Anyway, let's move on to the last one. Am I the asshole for snapping at my boyfriend for bringing a man into the bedroom while I'm trying to sleep? No, you're not the asshole. Done. Okay, no, we're gonna read it. All right, let's read it. So for quick context, my boyfriend brought us a new bed frame and mattress, but the frame came with a crack in one of the pieces. When he told Amazon, they just sent him another one. One day at work, an employee mentioned he was needing a new bed, so my boyfriend said he could have the one Amazon sent him if he didn't mind the broken piece. Well, he didn't, and he came to get it today. Oh. I know this person, and I do not like him for various reasons. Oh God. My boyfriend told me the night before he was coming to get it. I said, cool, I'm not coming out of the bedroom unless I have to. Okay, well, I mean, you would have to because the bed's in there, so there is that. He came, and I vaguely heard them talking, but I was half asleep and didn't care. Then I heard my boyfriend say something about showing him our bed, and I heard him say that I was in there, but it was fine. Oh no, sir. Naughty no, no, no. No, no, no. I kind of froze, half asleep and confused until I hear them coming in, and I pulled the blankets over my head as my boyfriend announced coming in. Oh, I'm uncomfortable for you. I said very loudly, why? And they just came in. It was hot and stuffy under the covers. Thank God I wore baggy clothes and not my usual sleepwear, so I pulled the blankets down, and the guy was just standing there in the doorway and awkwardly said, good morning, to which I replied very angrily, good morning back, and probably looked like I wanted to kill everyone there. Fair enough. That would have been bad. I would have blown the f*** up. So my boyfriend showed off the bed and started to leave, to which I snapped at him for not shutting the door behind him on his way out. I don't like leaving the door completely open because it's so awkward when his kid goes to the bathroom across the hall and we see each other when I'm trying to sleep. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's not like you're naked or something, but whatever. I just want it cracked enough for my cat to get in and out, and he knows this. Fair enough. You set boundaries. That's fair. Eventually, the employee leaves and my boyfriend comes in, and I immediately sat up and tell him I did not like that at all. He tries saying something in a sing-song voice that may have been a half-assed apology, but I cut him off saying, I really didn't fucking like that at all. Fair. And he turned around and left without a word. Oh, childish. Yikes. I shut the door completely and laid down, just sort of locked up in place. My whole body just felt sort of heavy and my chest hurt, but I couldn't cry, but that was just so humiliating to have not only a man that does not belong in my bedroom there, but also him seeing me in a safe space, an absolute mess from sleeping was just horrible. Fair enough. Like, don't even need to justify it. It's your space. That was not okay. Later, when I got up for work, my boyfriend left as soon as he knew I was moving, got his pants, and left without a word. On my way out, I very angrily texted him that since he decided to Irish goodbye me after hurting me that bad, I'd take the couch tonight. Damn. He didn't reply, and he was asleep when I got home, so on the couch I am now. I want to know if I'm the asshole for how I reacted, because I have a feeling that's how he's going to twist it when he does. Or if he does, saying anything at all. Oh God, I hate the silent treatment so much. It makes me so uncomfortable. Even reading this, I can like feel the tension, just cut it with a knife. It makes me so uncomfy. Initially, you are completely in the right to say that you're uncomfortable. End of story. He should have said, are you decent? Or is it okay if you come out? You should have been notified before he came in there with a fucking man. Any human, totally fine. He tried to play it off playfully. You asserted yourself. Is swearing good? Probably not. But who cares? You're fucking mad. I get it, dude. And the way he handled it, so poor. Like, I'm all for if you need to cool down and take, some time, that's fine. But let the person know. Be like, you know what? I need to cool down. I need to take like an hour or a day to just like think about this, and we can come back to this conversation level-headed. Fair enough. I've been in those situations, but to just walk away and not say anything, fucking jackass move. Okay. I don't think you're the asshole personally. Let's see. I think we have an update. Oh, mini update 6 hours later. All right. There's a lot of comments, more than I expected. I want to start by saying thank you all, even the ones that said I was the asshole but gave a polite reason why. This really helped me calm down my anxiety and my anger. My anger was through the roof, and this really helped calm me down, distract me, and clear my head. Okay, fair enough. What did people say how she was the asshole? Okay, a lot of people said she's not the asshole, but I don't care. I don't agree with them. Anyway, I would like to clarify here because I noticed a lot of people misreading it, but the employee was never buying anything, especially not our actual bed that I was sleeping on. Okay, that's relevant. Okay, I didn't realize that either, and I'm still on your side. He was picking up the free spare bed frame because Amazon is kind of weird in how they fix things apparently. Okay, so it was like in a different place. Interesting. I really have no idea why or how they ended up in the bedroom. I will eventually find out, and that will be in the update, which I will update the post with an update when I have one. my lord. Okay, this is even more context that just makes you more not the asshole. I tried to be as polite as possible in my replies, but a few times my temper did flare a bit. I apologize for that. I admittedly haven't slept since all this happened, so I'm pretty impressed I could spell still. Haha. I'd like to especially thank the men that apologized for what I dealt with. How the world is going about that was really wonderful to see. I thank you to every woman that defended me and lifted me up. Your aggression was honestly sweet as f***. I genuinely appreciate it. Your kindness. You're welcome. When the time comes, I'm going to let him explain himself, listen, and explain myself as well. I will apologize for snapping, only if he actually shows remorse, what he did, and understands how wrong it was. Yeah, the whole, saying, didn't... Swearing is just, it just amplifies everything in an argument, and I find it's just not productive. It's hard to not, though, sometimes. I get it. If he makes excuses, I'm not going to meet him in the middle. I know a lot of you were mad about sleeping on the couch. I did no sleeping at all, of course, but when we've clashed before, he almost always takes the couch, so I don't see it as unreasonable, but I get where you are coming from. That's the goal. Yeah, I mean, my goal is to never go to sleep angry. That's always the goal. And luckily, to this point, never have, knock on wood. But it's life, it'll happen sometimes. And yes, I'm reevaluating my relationship with him even before I hear him out. I'm not going to act rashly. It's really impossible to explain a 3-year relationship in one post. And I know everyone wants to hear every detail, but not every detail is meant for strangers. Fair. No offense. I love all the advice and support you've given me, but I am considering leaving him. And I do have a plan if it comes to that. I always have, in all honesty. Okay, that's relevant. But I really need to close my eyes right now, especially now that my chest doesn't hurt. Thank you dearly once again. I'll post the update when I have one, and I'll try to reply to people because I always feel like I should when you put it in the time to try and help me. Thank you. Another update. Same day, 10 hours later, 16 hours from the OG post. Love it. Let's get into it. Update. I broke up with him. Oh, shit. When he finally admitted he brought him in there to see the bed, he basically said all my reasoning for not being okay with it is stupid. Good for you. Good for you. That's just out the window. That I was dressed and under the cover and it was fine. You're an idiot. Okay. He said basically everything that everyone said in the comments and refused to see any wrong in his actions besides one brief admittance that he could see how I was uncomfortable, but in the same breath said he couldn't imagine how I'd feel violated and thus wouldn't validate my feelings. So I broke up with him despite probably should have waiting until I was not at the end of the month and could be more comfortable, find a place to live. Fair enough. I'm fine. He just went off into the other room and I laid down on the couch. I'm not concerned for my safety yet, but if I become so, I'll be able to stay with a friend. I can afford to move once I find a place. It just takes time. No, I won't take the couch. Nice. It was a long conversation of me desperately trying to get him to understand all this took was just admitting he was wrong and just apologizing. I couldn't get that much. Looks like I didn't know him after all. Damn. I see your true colors shining. I see your true colors, and that's why I don't love you. So get the fuck out of my fucking house, 'cause you're a piece of shit. A true asshole. True like a devil. That's where I'm gonna end this. Love that. Happy ending. I mean, not happy ending, but I'm glad you stood your ground, If he's going to treat you like that in a situation like this where, it's not small, but it's smaller in the grand scheme of things, it can only escalate from there. So I think you're just better off. Know your worth, Slay, sister. I'm out.